first of all, I'm happy to report we about got this all figured out with the game of charades in the back. And so, but my name is John Tyrrell. I'm from Mountain Grove, Missouri. That's Wright County, Missouri. And a little bit about myself. I grew up as a dairy farmer. My dad was a dairy farmer. I grew up milking cows. And then when I was in the 5th grade, my dad decided he wanted to go to law school. And so we went to Kansas City so he could go to law school. And then we came back. I graduated high school there. Went to MSU, got my college degree, and went to Tulsa for law school. And then after that, I became an assistant prosecutor. And becoming an assistant prosecutor, I learned a couple things. Small counties have to balance small budgets. And for some reason, the people in Washington, that comes across as rocket science. It's not here, so why is it there? And so, being an assistant prosecutor, I learned a couple things also. I learned, number one, the Constitution is important. The government has to follow the Constitution because the government needs to be held to a higher standard. And after I left the prosecutor's office, I went to a small practice, and there I do defense work and family work, and representing people is something I pride myself on. Because the important thing that I feel for a representative is that a representative needs to represent the people. I pride myself on client relations. And so if there's an issue and I'm in Washington, I need to know something about it, I'm going to talk to Caleb, I'm going to talk to Wade, I'm going to talk to Charlie or Catherine. I'm going to talk to the people who want to talk to me about the issue because I need to know what's important to you because you know what? It's going to be important to me. And the thing that concerns me about what's going on now in Washington, there's a disconnect between the people there and the people here. They pay no attention to what we want other than if they want our money or they want to suspend our rights. And so I disagree with that. I'm an advocate and you need an advocate and I want to be your advocate. And I know I can do this job. I can be your advocate.
Okay, in selecting our candidate, we expect to do better. We want Missouri to do better. We are close to losing what has made us strong and what makes America great. Our country is $16 trillion in debt. Our current leader wants a blank check. Joanne Emerson votes yes on what they're calling over the cliff. How do you think that could have been handled differently?
I think the Speaker of the House gave up a prime opportunity to do what he should have done, which was lead. He had an opportunity to do what the House should have done, which is pass bills to recommend to fix the cliff, and he didn't do that. He opened himself up to an unfair negotiation for a person who was not going to negotiate on fair terms. And so we gave up an opportunity to try and accomplish something. We control the House, therefore we control the purse strings. We need to make the decisions on what needs to be spent through our government. And I fault the Speaker for that. He had an opportunity to take the reins, and he didn't do it. With the upcoming debt ceiling, I think what he needs to do is take the reins there, and he said he's not going to negotiate with the President. I respect that decision because the President needs to come to him, needs to come to the party, to the House, because that's where the strings are, and if he wants us to do anything with it, we need terms, and the first thing we need is a balanced budget amendment to balance the budget to solve this debt that we have.
There's 435 districts in the United States. Our district is rated the 8th poorest. Out of the 9 districts in Missouri, it is rated the poorest. The median income is $27,865, with the household income, in Dent County, $32,991. What are your plans to change this?
The benefit I have is that I have connections throughout this district. My wife's from Poplar Bluff. I grew up on the western side of the district, and I drive through these counties, and I see that we struggle economically. So the thing I want to do is find a way to reach out to companies to encourage them to come here, set up shop, because we have a great base of people here who are willing to work, who work hard, and we need to find a way to incentivize those companies to come here and set up shop so we can get people some jobs, because people want to work, and people want to work in the 8th District. And I see no efforts to encourage businesses or economics to come here. And so that's one thing I do as your congressman, is to do what I could to encourage people to come and provide jobs.
The candidate selected for this vacancy will have to be capable of raising money. Do you feel you are capable to raise the required funds it will take to win this race? If so, tell us how you plan to do that. It's rumored to be about $200,000 to $300,000.
Money, unfortunately, is a big part of politics. I do feel I can raise money because I have a message and I have a plan, because I consider myself a person of solutions. We have a situation where we hear rhetoric but no solutions. And so I feel that once I get if I'm selected nominee, that I can raise money because I have the message I have to the donors will encourage them to donate to me, and I'm not concerned about that, and I don't think any other candidates should be concerned about that either.
There's been much talk about gun control, and here in the Ozarks, most of us have and use guns. This level of freedom is something to be thankful for. We always want to keep this freedom. The person we select, we want to know without a shadow of a doubt that the person would vote to keep this freedom if it comes to that.
I am a gun owner. I'm a proud gun owner. I enjoy gun shows. And the thing that upset me the most is the most recent article I read coming from the administration is that the president feels that he can circumvent the Constitution and pass an executive order to suspend gun rights. I disagree with that. I find it insulting because gun ownership is our heritage in this area. And I believe that a safer America is America where we have responsible citizens who own guns. And so I do not oppose, I oppose any type of gun control. It serves no purpose, and once you give them an inch, which they're trying to take right now with an executive order, they're going to take a mile. And so I disagree with that, and I oppose gun control.
What is your position on stem cell research?
My position on stem cell research is simply this: life begins at conception. Life is something that we should cherish. It's something I cherish. I serve as legal counsel to the Mountain Grove Pregnancy Resource Center, and you know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness without due process. And life is something that we should always protect. So given stem cell research, I do not favor that. I think you're playing with a situation, you're playing in God's domain, and that's not a place where we need to be. We need to be a people who cherish life and protect life.
Okay, the last question. We don't want a candidate that will take the easy path and put tough decisions off for another day. Our children and our grandchildren's futures are at stake. Convince us you wouldn't do that and why you're the best candidate for this vacancy.
I'm the best candidate simply for this. I'm a husband of one, father of two. I have two children, two very young children who I love very deeply, and I will protect them. And I see a situation where we have a Washington and a government who is not looking out for their best interests. And so I feel that I have to look out for their best interests. And the best way for me to do that is to go to Washington. Unlike the other people in this situation, I don't hold elected office. And so I spend my time on the ground with my people, with my clients, finding out what their issues are. And if your issues are important to you, they're important to me. We may disagree about some things, but I'm not afraid to make a tough decision because they want me to do something and you don't, you win, hands down. And that's how I see this, and that's what I want to do for you.